You know what that is? Discipline. Selfish.
No joke. We're legitimate.
Let's fucking do this. Then do it. Do it 100%, because I'm trying to.
We recognize that we are limitless.
You gotta be a champion to become a champion, right? Winning is a habit because we create habits that lead to good execution and success.
It's the 80s night. Wait, you guys didn't dress up like 80s. You jerks. All right. The Coaches Show, episode 76, is live, hosted by myself, Coach Mike Bianca of San Diego Dynasty, and my friend, Coach Ryan Gray of Red Legion. Tonight, we're getting ready for one of the biggest events of the season, the 2025 NXL Midwest Open. And we've brought in two of the most respected minds in the game, Coach Shane Pestana of the Los Angeles Ironmen and Coach Kevin Bredthauer of Tampa Bay Damage. I did it right that time, Kevin. We'll be breaking down the 3-on-3 Thursday tournament, the pro division brackets, who's got the toughest path and which matchups, like, should we be watching? What could shake things up? The WNXL matchups, key games, and what to watch for. Semi-pro pools, the dark horses, and the teams to keep an eye on. I already have my picks ready for that. Our top 10 pro picks for who we think will make the Sunday bracket, and our prediction for who's taking home the semi-pro title. All right. If you're heading to the event or you just love high-level paintball talk, this is the one you don't want to miss. That's right. This event, this episode, this is the one. This is it. All right. Enough of that. This episode is brought to you by Max Sportswear. If you're a field owner wanting to up your presentation to your customers, get Maxed custom ref and team gear to make your field team and refs look amazing. Give them a call today. You won't regret it. And BKI, the best knowledge in paintball. Be sure to check out the upcoming summer camp. The sign-up link is in the comments. You can learn from the pros, shoot great paint, eat good food, and more than likely have an unforgettable experience. I want to remind everyone once again that the Cincinnati Coaches Clinic info is out. The link for the sign-up is in the show description. The clinic is hosted by Ryan and me, and we're going to cover in-game communication, box reads and initial calls, mid-game adjustments, closing point communication, creating a winning culture, part of my favorite aspect of it, structuring effective practices, building discipline and accountability, setting and maintaining clear expectations, unlike this intro. All right, right. I love these episodes, but I must warn you all, I have had zero sleep as I spent the night in an airport last night and got home around 11 this morning, and they lost my luggage, and I've been at work ever since. I'm feeling a bit loopy, hence the headband, Hormesis headband, holding my eyelids open. That's why it's so tight. Let's get this party started, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to take full advantage of Mike tonight since he's really tired. He won't be able to catch most of the things we're saying anyway, so it's good. I do want to mention on the clinic, I'm going to leave the sign up open through tomorrow because then I'm going to make all the books on Wednesday. So if you want to get in. We have enough right now to make it a really good clinic. So should be great conversation. We're really excited about it. So I'm going to leave that open through tomorrow. So if you're wanting to get into the clinic, please get registered by the end of day tomorrow. I think that's it. And I apologize that you guys will see every now and again, like one of us may do a little swirl because I'm in a hotel and the Wi-Fi is not amazing here. So we're working with what we got. So
that's right.
Appreciate the grace.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, Shane, SK, how you guys doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Why do you have luggage, Mike? This is the first thing pro coaches don't do is check luggage. Like, you don't do that.
Wait.
I didn't get that memo.
Yeah. Shane and I like to wear clean underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Carry on.
Yeah, see, rhymes with me.
Well, yes, I have carry on, but I also bring extra gear just in case. Like I've also get like I got a med kit, I got an extra gun setup. I do all that stuff just in case the guys need anything. So
Yeah, I bring stuff for the guys. You know.
No.
Plus, we're in Texas, so I was strapped.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Any of those things.
Got to protect yourself.
None of those things.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let's
Ryan, take care of this. Good.
Yeah, I'm going to try. I promise. I'll try to keep you guys wrangled and zoned in. So let's talk about the 3-on-3 first. So it's been there hasn't been a lot of promotion about this, but on Thursday we had Tom Cole on the show. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the 3-on-3, so that is for sure happening. We have a bracket that is out, so that's going to start, I believe, at 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. So you'll be able to watch like a match or two and then come over to the coach clinic, do the coach clinic, and then you'll be able to go right back to see the meat of the deal. It is 7-minute matches, 3-on-3. Double elimination, which makes this kind of takes me back a little bit to that Champs Challengers a few years where like that bottom bracket, you lose a match, go into that bottom bracket, it makes each one of those games really, really important. So should be very entertaining, right? The other thing Tom kind of mentioned, which I really like, is if you're tied, meaning let's say you win kind of out, right? As you're winning, your placement can change based on the number of points you play, right? So number of points played is going to be important. We're not talking about margin in this deal. We're talking about number of points played. So kind of a big deal. Obviously, if you win every match, it's not going to make a difference anyway, even if you win by 1 point. As long as you win them all, you're going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan, quick question. So there's actually a question and I think we need to clarify this. This is a different production, right? This is a pilot or a test for a new production capability, right? So it's not Go Sports.
it is, and I'm unsure. I'll actually ask right now. I don't know if it's going to be on Go Sports or not. I do know that there is a major sports outlet that is requested, and Tom kind of mentioned it on his episode. There's a major sports outlet that is asked for this test. So we'll see.
Cool. Let's pull up the brackets so people can get an idea of what's going on here. Now, I believe there are 2 teams out of the 20 pro teams who are not participating. Hopefully everyone can see that. I hope it's working. I have no idea.
It's working.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go
really small.
Yeah, I just went to the full screen so I can see it. So it looks like all right, the match that it kicks off with is Aftermath versus Energy Elite and Sea Dogs versus NYX. And that starts flowing.
And the reason it's those teams is because they're the lowest seeds in the season rankings.
Right. So this is based off seeding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and originally they wanted to do 16 teams, and I think they added these so that the other 2 teams that wanted to play could play.
Ah, I like it.
Yeah, me too. I like it. I think it's going to be interesting, right? We haven't done like really seen 3-man like on a big scale like this really since what were those things called? SK Shane, you guys might remember. Do you remember those cage things that were like 30 by 90 feet?
The ultimate.
That's it. Ultimate Shootout.
Yeah, the ultimate shootout.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike. I should include you in that. You're old as Jesus. Also,
he's old as dirt.
He's older than me.
I am. I'm older than you and SK. I think Shane's got me though.
Yeah, I'm definitely the oldest. I think. My body feels like I'm the oldest, so I'm going to say I'm the oldest. Yeah, you play pro paintball long enough, your body will know it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I did just get clarification. It will be on Go Sports, but starting at 11 a.m.
Okay. So, all right.
Okay. Cool.
Great.
I think it's going to be fun. I like the double elimination. You come out of the losers bracket, you earned it. Every game, sudden death. So,
that's right. Yeah.
So when those teams drop down there, and someone's going to come out of it, and they just got to keep. It's actually a really cool format. I think we're something new and something different. I think it's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be super fast paced too on this layout with these 3 men out there. It's going to be bam, 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 bam. They're going to get exactly what they want, I think.
So Kevin Fillers is texting me the answer to the question. He says Ultimate Madness and Rage in the Cage.
Right.
You want to come on the show? Just come on.
Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
get in there.
But yeah, it should be interesting. So 18 teams, and it's an all day thing. This is going. We've been told, the coaches. I'm not sure if you guys have been told this. I was told that hey, if a team gets knocked out early, they will be able to go on and move on and go have their regularly scheduled practice, bracket area or practice scheduled thing. I can't talk. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, Tommy said he would accommodate us.
Yeah, and the challenge with that is like we had a practice set up with Infamous, right? So like, what if Infamous gets knocked out at noon, or we get knocked out at noon, and then your partner that you were supposed to practice with doesn't get knocked out? Like they play all the way through, right?
Yeah.
So we as a coaching staff have been kind of talking about that. Like they were like, well, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, we'll just go practice the other team that gets knocked out around the same time we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the plan, right? Because we had two partners as well, and so it's going to be
same with us.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a great question from Shelda. Let's kind of, we can talk about this really quick. As coaches, What are you hoping to gain from this weekend?
Oh, I can do that. So I think Dan means from the 3-man. Is that what he? Yes. Oh,
I have theories.
It's easy. Because if you look at all these times, there's not going to be a whole lot of time to walk this field because it is on the pro field, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Oh, and on time on this layout with these bunkers, everything's always a little tiny bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter if you set it up perfect, they're always a little bit different. The most valuable thing from this is learning the shots on the break.
Totally.
What little things a little bit different. This one's 6 inches farther, this cut's a little bigger, all those things. So from a practice valuable information standpoint, that would what I would think most of these teams would try to gain.
100%. I think zeroing in on shots, right? Getting the reps, because there's going to be a lot of reps with 3-man, 7 minutes. So lots of reps on that, understanding the nuances of the field. This is also an opportunity, right? The teams don't have to have just 3 guys from the roster. They can rotate, everybody through there. So everybody throughout the day, as the team gets deeper, or it doesn't matter. But it's, people are getting constant looks. So great opportunity.
Yeah, I think getting spins on the pro field is the most valuable asset and like you said, our setup this past weekend could be exactly on, but you go to the tournament could be a little different, or you go to another facility and it's a little bit different. And sometimes, a bunker moved over 3 inches changes a lot off the break, the bounce shots, everything. So it's just, hopefully the more reps we have on it, that we're going to have that field dialed in as the weekend progresses.
Yeah, it's one of those rare opportunities to actually practice the pro field, because all those times you go practice on the divisional team fields, and then you come, and all of them are different in some way, right? And that's why you got to walk the field so much.
It reminds me, I think it was 2 years ago, but at World Cup they had the other format that we practiced. That was like the third, I think, or was Wednesday before.
It was at World Cup. We did the 7-2.
Yeah. So like what Mike was talking about is I played all 10 guys, and some teams were down to 5. And I was like, this is our practice. I know there was money involved, but I was like, no, I'm playing everybody. So I know who is ready to go for, the real tournament. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm planning on playing the whole roster.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only downside, obviously, is when you have a skinny roster like ours, especially at this event, like Sergey. We don't have Sergey because he's having reconstructive knee surgery.
Oh, wow.
When you have a skinny roster like ours, it gets tough playing a full tournament kind of the day before. But we kind of felt like we needed to for everything that was already mentioned. Like, we're not going to get to walk it with any real time. We need to get, especially those 3 shooters that are going to be shooting every time, they need to play as much as we can get them in.
Right. There it is. I mean, there's a lot of different approaches to this, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
you
think
said,
it could be valuable time for new players too, or the players with less experience on the team. Like that, I think that's a great way for them to prove themselves too, where there's not as high of leverage situations. But this is a starting point rather than just practice. This is the step beyond practice, I guess you could say.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. And Joey Konopinski, great question. Joey asks, is there a prize for this? The answer is yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah, there is a prize for this. So it's $4,000 for first place. And I believe $2,000 for second place.
Money.
Take it.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So SK, where you guys going first point? We play damage.
To be honest, it depends on which guys show up. So I don't think we're gonna have. I think we're gonna have 5 or 6 guys in the morning, and by the afternoon we'll have everyone. But so most of us, they didn't kind of tell us until later that they were doing this. So I know most of our guys usually fly on Thursday morning because we don't practice on Thursdays.
Yeah, I think we, and I can't tell, but I think we play the winners of Sea Dogs MYX. So,
okay, yeah. I actually fly in that morning, so PAX might be running the first game. So they're going to run everywhere with PAX.
Yeah, hey, go to their side of the field. That's PAX's call. Go to their side of the field.
Yeah, all 3 off the break. Let's go. Yeah, so it'll be fun.
They can't shoot all of you.
Man, so
it is a 3-man. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you can take some risk, right? Like, especially if you're using it for an opportunity to see where the red lines are in different spots on the pro layout.
And on this layout, you can steal points even if you're down bodies. So,
totally.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you can on this field? Oh yeah.
So it's a great thing.
Imagine that.
Mike, if you don't mind, let's get rid of that thing.
I was just about to ask if I could. There we go.
Yeah, let's talk about the layout a little bit. So everybody had an opportunity to get on it this weekend. We were at Blast Camp Paintball and Airsoft here in Indiana with Houston Heat and Arsenal. And it was kind of a mixed bag, right? Like there were some points that were fast, but then obviously when we're on, it's a little faster just because of the tempo we like to play. But I mean, I think Leverage and Heat had a couple of 10-minute points. So what was kind of you guys' experience on the layout this weekend? Mike, we'll start with you.
Okay. Friday and kinetic, very fast. Bam. Right. Mm-hmm. Saturday, things started to slow down. And then by Sunday, you would have intermittent super fast points based off guns on break and key opportunity bunkers taken, and then slowed down points.
Yeah.
Right. Where find the bodies, find the body. Right. Where is he at? So, I would say, originally I was looking at like a minute 35 originally on an average. And then it got up to about 2 minutes at one point on Sunday. So
that's fast.
That's an average. So
that's fast.
No.
Yeah. Shane?
Yeah, same for us. We went to Dallas. We played Diesel and Himmon's Collision Crew, and you'd have a point, even a fast point was still 45 seconds to a minute, and that was super fast. And then we had some really grinder long, like you said, 8, 9, 10-minute points, and hey, I would not be surprised if we see a team get up on a team 1-0 and see what they do and see if they can just hold out on that point, on that score. The way there's certain bunkers on this field that can really lock it down. So, which I don't like, but that's the way the field is. So, but you can, there's ways to crack it. And it's kind of what we learned over the weekend. So, but we got a good look and a lot of different variables on the field, but it always seemed to come down to a few key bunkers that people are in. So, like you said, if you eliminate one here or there, it opens things up. So,
yeah. Right. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be as boring as you guys think. Because I always think that.
Well, hold up. I wasn't. Look at those two. I didn't say boring.
Okay. Well, I just feel like sometimes like practices, like less people die on the break than at tournaments because there's refs. so
Imagine that.
I think sometimes with a guy missing, things open up dramatically. So
100%.
My
Okay.
Yeah. If you had honest people out there, like to hear you say 45 seconds to a minute, we had a 25 second and a 33 second. And the longest point I think we had was like a little over 5 minutes. I think there might've been a 6-minute point there. And by the way, I forgot to say this. Shout out to Alex Martinez at X Factor Paintball. We were in San Antonio at X Factor with the Tauntauns and X Factor, and fantastic host. So love Alex.
So, Alex is top.
He
tier,
is,
right?
man. He absolutely is.
So the reason I kind of wanted to get you guys feedback, not necessarily because I think it's going to be boring, because I don't. I love layout. I don't necessarily love the asymmetrical thing, but I just like different, right? Like, every time a layout comes out, you get like a 50-50 shake where some people are hating on it, some people are loving it. I mean, the reality is I've never left an event and been like, oh my God, the field layout just destroyed my fun. Right. For two reasons. One, because I go with people that I enjoy being around, and that's normally what makes the event fun. It has nothing to do with the layout. And two, because I, as a fan, when we get weird layouts, I love to watch it evolve over the tournament. Right. Like it kind of looks like one thing on Friday and plays out one way. And then on Saturday morning, it has a little bit different feel. And then by Saturday afternoon, it's a little different. Then by Sunday morning, it's a little different. And I think this one is going to be that type of layout. I think we're going to see an interesting evolution of the way the layout works over the tournament. And I love layouts like this. They're just different.
The nuances should be, like you said, right? It's that little nuance thing here. Tendencies will be key. Scouting is going to be huge. It always is, but I think on this particular one, it's really going to play in.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's kind of talk about some semi-pro stuff. How about that?
Let's do it.
I like it.
Yeah. You know who I'm picking.
You know who I'm picking.
We're gonna pick later. So, on that pick. Yeah. So semi-pro's been interesting this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of different winners. Of course, the dark horse coming out, preferred mob at the last event. Playing really well. TPP crew wins the first event and doesn't even make Sunday at the next event. It's been kind of a mixed bag, right? In semi-pro, with the exception of a couple of teams. BR Factory has been really consistent. Distortion's been pretty consistent. And now you have LA Collision, who's kind of getting it together and creating some consistency as well, along with New York Wrecking Crew, right? Who's sitting in fourth place. So semi-pro is getting interesting. Right. Like I've kind of been hating on it a little bit over the last, I was literally having this conversation with Ryan Moorhead and a couple of the guys this weekend and Ryan Smith. And it's interesting because, Leverage comes out and wins last year. The Sea Dogs buy their way in. And I got to be like, I don't think that this is like a secret. The Sea Dogs kind of are playing like they belong in the pro division. Yep. Kind of in every match for the most part that they're playing and doing, like, in my opinion, like normal rookie stuff. Like the first day they look pretty good, but then of course everybody gets an opportunity to scout them, and you can see the real professional teams just simply because of experience kind of beat up on them on the next day, right? Because they've had opportunities to watch what they do, and they don't make adjustments as fast as the other pro teams. But then Leverage really they've struggled. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, if we're just putting it out there, they've really, really struggled. So I've kind of, said over the last really 2 seasons that I think it's a little bit watered down. But I think now, especially with teams like LA Collision getting out, like Shane, you mentioned they came down to Texas and played with you guys and AC Diesel. Like when you look at a team like that who's going to travel around and play against other pro teams, that's a team that's going to elevate quickly, right? Because the learning curve is sharp when you go play pro teams. So same thing with New York Wrecking Crew. They go down and play Tampa Bay Damage to prepare for events. They kind of stumbled here and there this season, but and then BR Factory has been incredibly consistent with 2 second place finishes and sitting atop the division. So Semi-pro's getting interesting. So if you look at the brackets, and I don't know if you guys have them up in front of you, but like that. So like bracket C has LA Collision, Altitude, Preferred Mob, Tiki's Totem. Corrupt.
Shane's still at work.
Yeah, a lot of chaos going on back there.
Yeah.
Which is a solid division, right? Solid pool. And then you look at bracket B with Wildside Distortion, TPP Crew, Shock, the KC Missouri All-Stars, Virginia Vendetta, and then the Murder Goons, which I have no idea who that is.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I have no idea. So, like, there's some interesting matchups in semi-pro. So,
there is something I wanted to add to your. You know how you were talking about watered down, and then there's been some excitement in the semi-pro division with some consistency. Sure. I think you're absolutely right. When you look at the top 4 teams, top 4, you can see some pretty. I think once you start looking at the 5 through 10, it gets interesting, right? Gestures go from 11th to 4th. Altitude stays 8th and 9th. TPP Crew, like you already mentioned, 1st to 14th. Shut Up, We're Trying 4th to 13th. Sacramento DMG 8th. So you're seeing these big swings. Who is the other one? So Preferred Mob, obviously 22nd to 1st. Shock 15th to 6th. So these big swings between the teams.
Yeah.
I think you're still going to see those top 4 teams, right? But the rest of the group, I think you're going to continue to see these people pummeling each other for position, and just it's going to be back and forth, and that kind of makes it exciting.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I heard that Preferred Mob just absolutely destroyed everybody at the last event.
They mercied everyone, didn't they?
Everybody.
Yeah. So is that just this event, or is this now this is the standard that they, it's kind of, well, I didn't watch any of the games, but I talked to him about it. He's all, yeah, bro, they were just running over the top of everybody. Mm-hmm. So, that's
and that's
we'll
the question.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the question with them is, and we've kind of had this discussion with them in the past. They're like this, right? They're kind of up and down and up and down and up and down. That's the question, whether or not they did have both the Rula brothers, which I think makes a huge difference, right? You bring in one that has a ton of pro experience and can really kind of wrangle and teach, right? So if he's back, they could be dangerous, right? They could be really dangerous.
Gives them confidence too to have him there.
Totally.
What he says, he's been there. He's been in the grind with heavy hitter teams, and he's going to give all the guys on the team confidence to be able to, and then they have an event like what they just had. Their confidence is going to even be higher. Now, how do they handle the success, and do they work harder and want to win again is the next step for them. So, but
Totally.
you got to give them props for what they did to everybody back there.
That's right. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, we had Coach Noel Tran on the show, and that's kind of one of the things we talked about is, hey, even if, and I believe it's John, right, is the brother that came in, Matt.
Matt.
So like if Matt goes away, right, if another pro team comes in and makes Matt a big offer, and Matt goes away, can you continue to emulate the things that you guys learned and stay disciplined to the process and all the things that he's kind of helped you guys put in place? And there was kind of a question mark there, right? So if Matt's not there, can they continue to perform at the level in which they did at the last event? So we'll see.
Yeah.
SK, you got any thoughts?
Can I make my semi-pro pick now?
No, we'll do it.
No,
So
damn
on
it.
what you were talking about earlier, Ryan, like we played Distortion the last 2 events now, and then we also played Shock the last 2 events for at least one day, and then and we played Wrecking Crew for this practice. So all 3 of those semi-pro teams. So all 3 of them should be at least know what's going to happen. Or have a good idea about it. So, so I mean, I think that helps a lot. Like what you talked about with Collision, it's the same concept, except, you can look at your peers at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know how
Absolutely.
you said LA Collision came out to you, Shane. We got to bang with LA Collision before Atlantic City, so they are making the effort to get out there and learn. I mean, they're going after it. Mike's not playing around. Those top 4 teams are no joke.
Yeah,
it's starting to look of the days of old, back when I knew a particular semi-pro team in that division.
Yeah, you're starting to see some familiar faces from the Aftermath Cup there, which they had from some before, so a little more experience, and they hung no problem with us this weekend with both teams, so yeah, they played really well actually all weekend.
Good.
And Mike grinds them in the ground. Mike and Dan,
100%.
they were there early and they're late, and it was, man, it's hot in Dallas, bro. Oof, that weather's brutal. I don't know how you guys do it. Yeah, it was warm. It was definitely spicy.
I think it was 93 on Sunday in San Antonio. And there was a lot of humidity because they had a flash flood on like Thursday night or something like that.
Yeah. 75 degrees here in Indiana. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. We're happy for you.
Hooray. Good for you. Golf.
Yeah, we melted. I melted. It's 55 degrees here right now. So it's foggy and 55. I
had to wear pants on Saturday because it was cold.
Oh, man, I would have killed for that. We did get a nice breeze there early on, which was pretty cool. So
let's talk about the WNXL.
Let's do it.
So we have Femmes Fatale sitting in first place, New Jersey High Roller sitting in second. You have Dallas Vibe and the Heroines sitting in fourth and third. So we only get to see the ladies at 3 events throughout the year, which I hate. I wish we got to see them more often, but I kind of, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
So Femmes Fatale looked fantastic at the last event. Kind of excited to see again, like that. I know that's a real working group. They're coached well. That program is really good. Kind of the same story can be told about Dallas Vibe, the Heroines. I don't know enough about the High Rollers to really be able to speak on kind of their program, but the WNXL is getting exciting. It's really tight. So thoughts on the WNXL for this event?
I personally, it's a big shakeup from what you expect from the first couple of years, right?
Totally. Yeah.
It's to see the Femmes up there, the High Rollers up there. That's fantastic. So that's good. It's showing that parity that we always talk about in the pro division. So you've got 10 teams now, which is really exciting. So that's great for the sport, I think, obviously. But yeah, it's, I have a lot of friends on 3 or 4 of those teams. And it's hard to root for any particular one. So it's, but it is fun to watch. It's good. We need to get either, I understand that Haley Leva is now coaching a semi-pro team. She's coaching, I think, the Oilers.
The Oilers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we might have to look for another correspondent and start getting some insight on that. I have some ideas. I'll pitch them to you after the show.
Awesome. Yeah. SK, thoughts?
I don't have a whole lot on this.
Okay. Shane?
Well, I help the San Francisco Sirens.
I was about to say, you have to say that.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. They did not do well at the first event in their eyes. And behind the scenes, I know they pretty much have practiced every weekend since the event.
There you go.
At least one, not double days, but at least one day, and just been grinding. They did have an injury of one of their snake players. She broke her hand. So yeah, Lexi broke her hand, which hurts, but they did pick up a couple other girls for the event. As far as, my camp or our camp with San Francisco. So we'll see how they do at this event. And I think they'll do better. They seem more confident and ready to rip. The Femmes played really well. In the past, it seemed like the Femmes were right there neck and neck with the Heroines and Vibe, that in years past, but for whatever it was, one bad mistake or a penalty or something would really hurt them. In the past years, where this last event they played really as a team, and I think that's why they end up winning the event. So, and it was exciting. It was exciting field for them, and then it's a cool division because all of them, they grind. They all grind and they want it, and they work hard, and it's fun to watch, and it's fun to be behind the scenes with them too, to see how hard they really do work at it. So you can give them, the respect is they've earned my respect because of how hard they work. They're all going to the gym. They're all trying. They're doing what we do at our level because they're pro paintball players.
Right.
So which is really cool. So I think after this event we'll have a lot better idea because like you said, they don't play all 5. We had one event. Now this next event, I think it'll settle in exactly where everybody's at. That's kind of the way I see it. This is a very, kind of just like what you were saying with a semi-pro. We've had 2 events. This event, I think, is going to determine who's going to be the front runner to win it all. And so I kind of see this as the same for the WNXL. Is FIMS for real, or was it just a one-time thing? Is it, so it'll be interesting. It's going to be fun. So.
Yeah, those 3 events, man, makes it tough.
Yeah, you can't have a bad event because it really puts you behind
the one that decides it. Yeah, heading into the World Cup. So awesome. He looks very serious.
He looks serious.
I was just making a note. All right. Well, let's talk about the pro division.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the pro division.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So it's interesting as we, kind of the field layout sort of evolved this weekend. Again, I was like, all right, can anybody beat Paintball Fit on this layout? Like, good God, like it's like, as things are kind of, obviously I think we can, right? But as things are kind of happening, I'm like, this is another shoot really well off the break and play with a lot of discipline layout. Don't lose stupid gun battles and communicate really well, and you're probably going to be very successful. And of course, right away, I'm like, Paintball Fit's probably going to do really well again. And not because I think the layout matters. I think they're really, really good on any layout we play. But I think on these types of layouts, they're going to be incredibly dangerous again. So it's going to be interesting. So yeah, let's just jump right in. SK, you have bracket A. Since we're talking about Paintball Fit, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, so I'll just start from, I guess, the bottom. So Leveraged actually won last event's ugliest jersey competition. They were by far the worst.
It has begun.
Hurricanes easily won the first event. Leverage won the last. I don't even know what was going on.
Now, SK, for everybody, we need to talk about this real quick before
this is fine. Yes.
Okay, so there was a bet, right?
Yes.
Between you and the coaching staff on the Hurricanes. And
correct.
If whoever won that match, right? And I think you have to wear that Mardi Gras jersey.
Oh, yes. So you have to say the other side too.
Okay.
So then the Hurricanes coach had to pick up our pod shirtless for one match, and then I chose the I'll wear your ugly jersey for a whole day. So I assume that'll be Friday, but it's really up to them. Obviously, I'm not going to bring that jersey. So Nick told me that someone's bringing one for me. So yes.
I asked him.
I
told them. I said, please tell me you got his name on the back of it. And they said no. I said this was such a great opportunity.
That's a great idea. But
I know. I said you dropped the ball. You had the time to do it. You should have had that made with his name on it. 100%.
Yeah. No, you're correct. But yeah. So I mean, I'm fair. Like I lost. I get it. I'm okay with that.
Roger.
But yeah.
So Leverage won the ugly jersey this time. So.
Oh yeah. Well, it was from Atlantic City. It was bad. And I wish we could post I should have sent someone a picture to show everyone, but it was bad. So I mean, honestly, like I think what Ryan talked about earlier, they're struggling much worse than like the Sea Dogs, which is basically a new pro team as well. So I'm not sure why it's that much different, especially, I mean, I know they lost a player or two like before the start of the season, but maybe it's just growing pains, or maybe it was their first 2 brackets. I don't remember what those were, but I know we played them the last last tournament, or yeah. And so I mean, and our bracket was tough, so I don't know. So I mean, honestly, I just they got to get out of that 20 spot. That's no good. You don't want to get promoted and relegated that first year, and if you don't change it now, you're in real deep trouble.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope to see more out of them, but I mean, I'm sure they've learned. So let's see. Infamous. So is this correct that Zach is not, or Geiger is not on that team anymore?
I think he announced his retirement. Yeah.
Oh, he retired.
Actually, Zach is on the Ironman now.
That's what
I was going to
thought.
say. He posted some pictures from Ironman practice. So.
Shane, you
well,
dirty dog, you.
Yeah, DeVitt cannot make this event, and with other unfortunate circumstances with Jerry Caro, we would have been down to 7.
Right.
And so we decided since DeVitt wasn't going to be there, I like to have 8 guys, so we picked up Zach back up. It was an easy transition for us because he was on the team last year, so he fit right in and knows all the guys, knows all the calls and everything. So
yeah, rip number 4.
Yeah, rip number 4. Yeah,
so that means Infamous is back to their normal skeleton squad. I don't who is I didn't even look. Who's left?
Look, they've got some. Infamous has got some.
I know, but it's just like who. I'm just not sure who they have. They have no one on their team right now. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't. They did 13th and 17th. That's. I mean, and I don't know if it'll get better. So, yeah, I'll just move on to Heat. Heat. What's the with a lot of new guys? That first event they got 5th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh wow, that's pretty good with incorporating all those new guys. And then they got 13th, but I think it was a close 13th, weren't they? They were 2-2, right?
Yeah.
And so they just had
came
bad
down to
margins or something.
I think it came down to crap. I'm on the wrong thing. No, that was the first.
Yeah, it was tight.
Yeah, it was tight.
It was tight. First time Houston Heat has missed a cut in
like a long
I don't
time,
know the last
years. Yeah. So I mean, I don't expect that to be the norm. So I assume that they will be back to their Sunday ways. I think. And yeah, I mean, and then they'll have more continuity. This is now being the 3rd event and 3rd set of practices, so I expect more from them. Uprising, who is one of my favorite teams because they have funny jerseys, and I love Tyler. So, and I think they have one of the best continuities of teams there are. They also play. They have their younger guys play in the WC, or at least they did for one of them. So to accelerate their process and to give them, since they don't really travel for practice, they get to, accelerate their learning curve faster by playing against guys that are better, which is in their own area. So I like that approach. And obviously when you're on the same system, team, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get a lot better information than if you play against some other pro team. So I do think that is very valuable, and I think just they've been on the upswing for about 4 or 5 tournaments in a row now. They've made Sunday every time. I think, is it 5 or 4 or 5? I don't know, but either way, they're headed in the better direction. They just need to. Honestly, I think they need to get that 4-0 thing, so then they would get an easier team to start with, because that's what they've generally had a hard time with. Is their first game is tougher, so it's harder to win that game to make the next step. Right. So that's kind of what I think about them. Paintball Fit, I think I really screwed up because I coached them a few years ago at the WC. I really screwed up. I really didn't help any of us here. And I helped out Johnny, and I helped out some of their players, and I mean, they were terrible at that event. And I was like, geez, no wonder you got relegated. And then immediately after that, they were awesome. And I was like, what happened? And I assume it was me, but it's probably just really their hard work.
It could have been their jerseys. It could have been their jerseys.
No, I don't like their jerseys. They look like ice skating jerseys. They have one sleeve that's like weird. No.
The fashion police is
rubber boots out of the bag.
I love
They're deep in there.
I like their jerseys.
I think they're awesome.
Yeah,
they're very Texas-like, I would say.
Yeah, they're Texas flags.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know what it is. So, but I mean, honestly, they've had, like, beyond the fact that we all know they worked very hard and practice all the time, and their continuity has changed very little. They've like added Cyrus, like that was, and then I'm sorry, I forgot the new play. Yes, that's it. And like adding one is not that big of a deal. So like it just gives you more depth, which is I think what their whole point was. And then he ended up playing like most of the points.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Both of them.
So
yeah.
So I mean, obviously they're good at understanding which kind of players they want to pick up too, which and they don't overdo it. They just have one guy. That's okay. So I just think now they just have confidence. Like, I feel like you could tell like Scott was going to win that one-on-one. Like he just was yeah, we won the last two, this or whatever. No big deal. like he didn't, there was no, I watched like in the hits, like from the webcast, and I was like, they all knew who was going to go. I feel like it, didn't they? Like it seemed that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Casey's in here somewhere on the side, so I don't know.
Yeah,
if
he said it on the episode.
Oh, he did?
Had him
Okay.
on, yeah, we had him on right
Okay.
after.
There was no doubt.
He said, yeah, it was going to be Scott.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't accept. I think that they're still going to do well, but like at some point, you just can't. Like you're going to get unlucky somewhere, or you're going to get a bad penalty here, or some other team is just going to play great. Like that's the other thing. It's like other teams are good. Like you know, we lost to the Hurricanes. I'm not upset by that. I was just like they played good that match, so that's cool. So I mean, most of these teams can beat any of the teams in all of these brackets. It's just, you know, if things go their way and they execute like they want. So I mean, I think Fitt's done a great job of executing what they want to do. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. Good breakdown, especially on the jerseys.
Well, yes. I'm a designer, Mike, so
I know
that's what I do that. But so I have to judge somewhere.
I need you to understand something, Kevin. I love it. I love it. I do. I think it's an important part of the sport that's often overlooked, and by golly, we should be doing more of it. So, So,
all right. I only have one comment on that bracket, and that's I have two. I'm sorry. Houston Heat. We practiced them this weekend, and Soap is an absolute menace on this layout. He's a menace, and Ryan Moorhead is a menace. Yeah. Like they looked better for sure. They had moments where they still had challenges, but they played all their guys the whole time. Couple of the young guys, the new kid that they picked up from the Oilers, it played well. Like they looked good. I think they've got an opportunity to do really well at this event. I think they'll be back to what we expect from Houston Heat. And then the other comment was just going to be on Seattle Uprising, and that's they still haven't figured out, and the reason they can't get that or haven't yet gotten that 4-0, they still haven't quite figured out how to beat the top teams. Like they're right there, you know, they don't lose bad, but they'll still lose by 1 or 2, you know, they're just kind of right there. And I agree. Their team culture is awesome.
There it is.
It's awesome. Yeah. So that's it on A.
I have a lot to say about A. Matter of fact, I probably have a lot to say about all of these brackets, but I'm going to do the reverse of SK. I'm going to start with Fit, right? Obviously, until proven otherwise, this is the best team in paintball right now. Mm-hmm. Their work ethic is becoming the stuff of legends, right? They have a terrific fan base that you have to contend with during your match. Always entertaining, by the way. And that's actually something that, you know, that's part of the game. It's a mental aspect, right? They play as a team. It's that simple. Team ball. They're analytical. They're tactically and strategically sound. But I think most importantly, they're pretty darn consistent. And we all know consistency wins the day, right? So I think you're right. I think they get production out of everybody. They've won the last 3 events, for crying out loud. This is the team to beat, not just in this bracket, in any bracket. So they're always going to be that team. They're going to be bringing some stuff that you might not have seen or saw. I know, like they always know all the bounces. I'll tell you that much.
For sure.
Uprising. You know, the team from the Northeast continues to impress this season, and I see no reason why they can't continue doing that. You know, a small slip at this last event, you know, but the trajectory, I see no reason why the trajectory won't continue. The talk of the town was Nate Schroeder's presence, you know, shifted that trajectory, right? And it may be the case, but I think they're getting production out of everyone, not just Nate, right? So Nate comes in, brings in that kind of leadership. You're right about Tyler, all those, the coaching staff, they have a staff, and they're really drawing out of those guys. Dynasty recently had the privilege of, we were joined by Mark Meiderman in the exhibition match. And I think he's been a major component to their newfound success, right? That guy's, I think you use, I love that term, menace. It's good. The kid's a menace. Can they keep it going? I think we all secretly root for this team. So let's hope so. Houston Heat, you know, this is a team that had, I think, the biggest drop off between the last 2 events. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they did, right? I think they went from like 15th or 5th to like 14th or something.
13th.
Yeah. So I may get in some trouble for saying this, but I almost feel like this is due to where, like, at the last event, they appeared to play some players out of position a bit, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, and that's all it is, just an opinion. But then I'm not there at the practice, so I don't know what they saw. So it may be an ignorant comment on my part. I don't know. I'm also a proponent of paintball players versus specialists, but that being said, this team has some legendary as well as up and coming talent. So I have no doubt they'll be back to their old ways in no time. And this may be their layout. It just may. So Infamous, this is the one that I think shocks me the most. Travis Lemansky and the boys looked a little rough last event. I think they were outscored 20-7 or something to that, like 7 points versus their opponent's 20. And it's strange because they have the talent to be contending every season. I almost feel like they're the new Seattle Uprising in a sense, where, you know, they have everything it takes and they're right there, but then they trip on their shoelaces kind of thing. And this is a storied team has every component to be successful, but they keep taking that story off on tangents, and the reader or listener, or however you want to interpret this analogy I'm about to make, is left confused and a little angry, right? I don't know what else to say here. I'm personally dumbfounded by some of their performances. And then Leverage, SK, I think you summed it up pretty well. They're 20th. They don't want to be there. They need to do something about this. You know, this is the team that won the pro spot this year. It's always a great story when you do it. It usually shows that your program or work ethic is about where it should be to run with the pack at the top. However, Leverage appears to have come to a gunfight, not with a knife. I don't want to be that harsh, but since I'm using analogies and I'm lacking sleep, let's say a bow, right? They're getting some arrows off, but ultimately they're just outgunned. They're missing 3 starters. And I think, you know, making a guy play on a knee who just had surgery, this does not make me question their grit, but it certainly makes me question other things. But that being said, I hope we see a difference out of that team as well. There. I think that's everybody in the bracket, is it? I think I got everyone.
You did good.
Well, I try.
I'll hit it real quick. I think Leverage has had 0 favors on the brackets they've been in. They've been absolutely brutal, but you could say that about every bracket in this division, and they're being exposed. And they need, and like you said, you don't want to be there. They need to make some changes, maybe get a couple breaks and win a game or two, just to give them some confidence, feel like they belong.
Yeah.
Infamous in kind of in the same boat as they were last year. Like we were inconsistent. You don't know what you're getting. And they kind of seem to be doing the same pattern. Heat was a big surprise to me that they, but they just, it was a tough field and tough tournament. So, they're right there. I think they'll do good this event. Uprising, they're making Sundays and they're just going to be confident and feel like they should belong instead of, hoping to make Sunday. They like, we belong on Sunday. And that's a big mental shift for teams. And I think that's like for our teams, that's the next step. It's like we belong here on Sunday. And we expect to be there on Sunday instead of like, we're going to try to make it, or I hope we make it, or, expect to make it is a big difference. And Fit's the best team in paintball. And they had some hiccups at this event too until Sunday. Yeah. And then Sunday they went on a run and just ran through everybody, so it was just,
had we lost the Heat, Fit wouldn't have made it.
Yeah. Or if they beat Diesel Saturday afternoon, we make it,
right.
Cause that's how close the division is. So, and then they play them Sunday morning and mercy them. So that just shows you the adjustments they made on Saturday night. They obviously learned something Saturday, come right back Sunday morning, just put an ass whooping on them. And
that's right.
They went on a run.
Everybody.
Yeah.
On everybody. Until the finals, they kind of beat up on us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they like our score was a little closer, but if you watch the match, it really wasn't.
Yeah, they controlled the narrative all day Sunday. And, on Friday and Saturday, they didn't. You watch those matches, it was like, there was definitely, but, as the weekend progressed, they became the champs that they are. They figured it out. So, got to give them props. Damn it, again. So, everyone's coming for them, so, and I'm sure they'll be ready. This is a good layout for them. So, we'll see.
Shaner, you get to keep right on talking and flow right into bracket B.
Yeah, I'll go right into B. Okay, I'll go with looks like we got Aftermath in the bottom. We played them at the last event, and actually we played them and the Sea Dogs, and they were in every match. They weren't getting blown out. They were very competitive. They just found ways to lose the match. We went to overtime with them. Right? Yeah, we went to overtime with them. And so it's just close matches. They were just right there. They were playing consistent and smart, but just, one little mistake here or there, and then they get exposed. I'm surprised they're at the bottom where they're at right now, because they've been around a little bit and they're a pretty consistent team, but, you gotta go out there and earn it. Sea Dogs are showing that they belong, in my opinion. Actually, like you said, they played really well until they faced us the final game. And they just had a game against us where I think everything went wrong, where everything went right for us and we ended up mercing them. But it wasn't, they were in every match before that. And I think that every event they're going to give every team they face, all they have, and they're gritty and they're actually good dudes. And, I enjoy watching them play, and we do like their jerseys. Yeah, as we discussed in the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, good guys. Arsenal, Arsenal, and I revert back to what we said before Atlantic City. We didn't really know what we were going to get with them and which way are they going to go. Well, we know what we got now. They went out and whooped everybody's ass in the prelims. They look honestly like the team to beat, in my opinion. They were playing as a team. They were playing smart, controlled. It was impressive. And then Sunday the upstart Tauntauns, who looked horrible on Friday, and they kind of, as the weekend progressed, they beat them. And, Tauntauns went on a run on Sunday, and that just shows you how close this division is. But Arsenal looked really well, or looked really good. And, and we were kind of, I was in the pits around them a lot because we're playing in our brackets were close, and they were tight. They were talking and communicating and working the whole time in the matches. So they're going to be a force again. Damage is damage. You know what I mean? They lost the Dynasty in the semis, right? Or quarterfinals, I think it was, by 1 point. Good match. It was actually a great match. So damage is legit. They're always going to be legit. This field's going to be great for them, and then I just hope they lose the first match in 3-man. Other than that, I think they're going to do it. So, yeah. And then this Dynasty's Dynasty. The coach is great. We love you, buddy. You look tired.
Thank you,
but we love you. But no, seriously, Dynasty looks like they don't age. They got that fountain of youth somewhere in the water bottles they drink, and they just keep on plugging away and finding ways to win. And and they ran into the Tauntauns. You know what I mean? It was kind of who surprised everybody, who played really well on Sunday, and they have the talent on the team. And so I mean, I think this bracket, I think Aftermath and Sea Dogs it's gonna be a little rough on them with these 3 teams above them. I think that all 3 teams, and then it's gonna be a bloodbath between them. So I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I don't think I'm saying anything no one knows out there about these teams. It's pretty obvious that Dynasty and Damage are legit, and they're Sunday teams for a reason at every event. So, and can Arsenal repeat what they did at the last one? Are they going to stay on that path? And I think they will. I really do.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, SK, you got any thoughts on this bracket?
Yeah, I mean, I would say for Arsenal, I was absolutely the most impressed. I mean, they had the biggest, just like Mike had said, he had a biggest swing. They had the swing the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this makes a lot of sense because they had some new pieces at the beginning of the year. They had a new coach, and then that takes time. And he's a good coach. So I think he knows what he's doing. He's just got to get his people to follow him, and it seems like he did. That last event.
Agreed.
Yeah. Damage, Chad's back for us. And Brian Smith is obviously out for a while, but he did show up to practice and he's doing good. And then Marcelo showed up to practice as well. So I think we have some new pieces that will be helpful at this event.
Yeah.
That's about it there.
What's age is just a number, but you want to know what isn't? Over 60 professional major event first place finishes. That is a major accomplishment. And I foresee that number to continue to grow. And that's really all I have to say about that. No doubt the Dragon sees Sunday again and high probability to take a goal. I'm going to say that because I believe in these guys and I love them to death and they're fantastic. It's incredible what these guys are able to accomplish and do. And this will be my 3rd event with them. And I'm still just like blink, blink, blink. It's surreal. I got to give you your props, SK. Damage. This is a murderer's row of talent from top to bottom, from the coaching staff to some of the most elite players in the game. With addition of another assassin like Marcelo Margot, this team, you got to say it. This team now has 3 former Dynasty players. So I figure they should do pretty well, on a serious note, you guys are going to be very dangerous and should be well respected on this layout and in any layout for that matter. So yeah, I think you're a hard one to bet against on this one, my friend. Baltimore Arsenal. Listen, Ryan will tell you this. I've been calling them since they were Revo last year and had it right for the first 3 events last year. They let me down at the first event this year, screwing up my numbers. Thanks a lot, guys. But they made it up for me in Atlantic City. Like I've been saying, this is a smart team comprised of some young raw talent along with seasoned vets, which makes for a potent combination. And what are you going to do when you've got that kind of mix? Keep an eye on this team. I anticipate, like you guys do, them being the spoiler more often than the spoiled. Should be a good layout for them as well. Sea Dogs, I like these guys. This is the team that bought their spot into the league and appears to be doing better than the team that won the spot. Doesn't appear to be. They are. Perhaps they knew the assignment. Perhaps they knew that they would be scrutinized by the purchase and that their performance had to be better, or they would, find themselves among the many who have tried and failed. Or maybe, just maybe, it's that cocky Canadian attitude and they didn't like the jokes about becoming the 51st state. I don't know. It could be any of those things, and they're probably coming to play. Aftermath, by the way, and I love their jerseys, SK. I wanted to get that out. I want to say that. Aftermath Hey, look, good mix of youthful enthusiasm balanced with some good dogfight. This is a team that embodies the spirit of let's go. And led by Grayson. They aren't always getting blown out and are usually in the fight. When this team figures out how to play team ball, they're going to be good. Right now, I just don't think they're always on the same page. A little too much individualism at the wrong moments costs them at crucial moments. If they can rein that in, they can be pretty strong. But this is a team that's always had, a puncher's chance. It's a talented team, and I think they figure it out once they do, harness that talent. They're going to be solid. Anyway, okay. It's my piece on that. Tried to speed it up that time.
Yeah. So I don't have much to add on this one. Somebody made a comment earlier about, Infamous kind of becoming the new, what Uprising used to be. I think that's Aftermath, right? Like they're the ones who seem to put themselves in really close games and then find a way to lose it, right? Yeah. Kind of get up on teams even, and then we went to overtime with them at the last event as well. But then shot 3 guys off the break in the overtime point. I'm always a little bit shocked when the Aftermath does much more poorly than we assume they will do, because they are a pretty talented group. They, do have a great culture. They play a lot. I guess I can't say they have a great culture. They have a decent culture. They play a lot of paintball, but they just can't seem to get it together. And again, I don't want to gloss over the fact that Tampa Bay Damage just added yet another probably top 20 elite guy to the other 10 of the top 20 elite guys to their roster. Yeah. And what a turd SK is. And God, bless your heart with all that talent, you lose one grade A player and just, replace him with another grade A player. So bless your little heart. I just don't know how you're making it. Yeah. Really tough job you have over there, my friend. So nonetheless, huge pickup for Tampa Bay Damage to bring on the not only talent of Marcelo Margot, but the kind of fire and leadership and all the other things that, come with an elite athlete like that. Obviously connects really well with you, knows, can play well with Chris. I mean, you guys have been together a long time. So really exciting for you guys, and also for Marcelo to be in a part of such a veteran group. Joey obviously talks about him every year in the off season, that he tries to go get him, and he finally was able to make that happen. So congratulations to you guys, and I agree with everything both of these other coaches have said. I think on this, not just this layout, any layout, but this one in particular, I think you guys are going to be you're going to be a handful.
Nice.
Coach Mike, you're up.
All right. So everyone's kind of doing the backwards thing. So I'll start with the backwards thing. New York Extreme, 19th overall. I don't know really what to say here. I'll start by saying they're not last, but they're close, right? Charles, Harris, the rest of the boys are, actually, you know what? They're in a good position here. And I seriously mean this. People are looking past them, which offers them a great opportunity to be a spoiler, right? I hope they come out and play their butts off and play spoiler. That would be a great story. They have talent, they have weapons, but I just don't see any cohesion. That's their biggest. There's no cohesion there. It's almost like they're all there and you see them and they're smiling and everything, but there's something, right? There's some kind of there's no connection. Lots of individual play, no real anima, no real self. They have to fix that if they're going to turn things around. So we'll see. Chicago Aftershock. The Twin Todds have a small conundrum on their hands. And this may be the caffeine talking. I don't know. I don't think anyone saw them in this position for this at this point in the season, but disappointment and subpar performances can be a tremendous motivator, right? You can bet your sweet Midwest bahookus these fillers are angry. They're hungry, and they're probably looking to bonus ball people still. So no idea what Shock is bringing. I saw that. No idea what Shock's bringing this event, unfortunately, right? I don't. If I had to guess, I would say a can of whoop ass, but they fooled me in the past. We'll see. All right. AC Diesel. I anticipate these cats to be pretty freaking dangerous on this layout. They have the weapons for it. They were out there with the Ironman and Collision this past weekend, getting busy and building up the attitude to match the gameplay, I'm sure. An 8th and 9th place finish this season so far. Expect another Sunday appearance from these cats. I really do. Trying not to babble too much. Tauntauns, the biggest jump from the first event to the second. I thought that was the biggest jump, SK, was the Tauntaun.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I see no reason why they can't stay on that path. After watching Fetty, Mark Franz, Axel, Hugo, Colombo, Spitma, if I pronounce that name right. I think it's Spitma.
You did.
Okay. I saw him this past weekend in San Antonio. They have the potential to be very dangerous to this event. Their coach, Pascal, man, dude is paperless. Did you guys know that? He delivers accountability and direction with an accent that everyone understands when you listen, whether you speak French or not. Right? It's all in his head. And he's sharing it with you, la pew pew. Right. So keep an eye on these guys too. They almost la pew pew. That was pretty good. I got to remember that one. All right. Too much coffee. Keep an eye on these guys. They tasted it. Right. And if you're very familiar with any type of French cuisine, you're going to want more. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Red Legion. Hey, what can I say about this team and my friend over here? I don't think you can say anything that hasn't been said about these guys 100 times. They're a well-oiled machine with one goal, and that's winning. I expect high tempo, lots of pressure, and a really dangerous and furious attack from these guys. They're like the Brady Bunch if Marsha was named Pressure. Pressure. Schwarzenegger from the closing scene in the original Terminator, maybe. They'll be back. This is a meticulous field, and they're a meticulous team. So, yeah, I think they are a no-brainer for a Sunday appearance in this bracket. Did I sum that one up? Did I go fast enough?
That was good.
Okay.
Nice job. Shane, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think Legion's legit. I think that they play this up-tempo, fast-paced pressure. Like you said, the pressure kind of reminds me of the Indiana Pacers in the NBA finals. Yes, they just run and they just wear on teams. You know what I mean? They lose a point and they just go right back and keep punching you in the face again, and it's kind of when they get momentum on a team, it's kind of hard to recover.
Yeah.
I think you meant Oklahoma City Thunder, who are beating the Indiana Pacers right now by 10 points. But it's cool. I'll let you slide on that for now.
I'm just letting you know, I bet the over. I don't care. How's that? We just need a lot of scoring. I'm just going to be,
54 first quarter. 54.
That is a good start. I think it's 2:24. So, but anyways, on another note, Tauntauns, they went on a run. They made it. They squeezed in and they went on a run. How do they handle that success? Where do they go from here? That's my biggest. Do they stack on top of that? And I think they do. They have the talent to do it, and they have the. They have the infrastructure, they have the personnel, and like you said, that first event, they didn't really play well. But then when I watched them on Friday, they were really struggling. They did not look like they were playing as a team. And then they just kind of, as the weekend progressed through Atlantic City, they played really well. And they were beating very good teams and playing as a team by doing it. So we'll see. We'll see what they do and how they get, you guys saw them at practice and said they look good. One thing, so we played Diesel the past 3 days. They're athletic, man. That whole team's very athletic. Standing behind them and I'm watching them break out. I'm like, dude, these guys can get down. Like every one of them could get down. Yeah. They're going to do well here. They played really well. They played as a team. They were grinding. They were doing the little things. Very humble. We had zero drama for 3 days out there with the three teams. It was great. And as you guys know, sometimes practicing it can be, you can have some, unnecessary stuff, I'll say, so it was a great weekend. They were working. Shock. We'll see. They have all the talent. They proved it last year. They belong. They play really well. But they haven't yet this year. So, and they got 3 teams above them that are really good, in this bracket. And then Extreme, they're not playing as a team. That's the bottom line. I go out there, a lot of individual play. They're not playing as a team. They need to shore it up, and they need to, they're in games. They're giving teams all they can handle, but it's the little, when it matters, they lose that point because it's individual play. So, hopefully they make a run and do better. That's, I like those guys. That's about what I got.
I mean, I think I don't want to say overlooked, but I mean, Tauntauns probably should have won the last tournament. Like literally, if Axel doesn't slip, they win the tournament. Like, I mean, or was taller.
Or longer arms.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah. I mean, so I mean, I don't find it like surprising though, because basically that core of that group plus Markey and Fedorov, basically, like the core had already won a lot of European events like in the past, which helps a lot, like in confidence, your organization, how you develop from like what Shane was talking about from Friday morning, or I don't know if they played in the afternoon, but from Friday all the way to Sunday, they improved the whole way. And that's from experience. And I think they certainly showed that. The rest of the teams, I think you guys covered it, a lot of these. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Ryan, you're bracket D, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I'll start with the bottom as well. So NRG Elite, again, like we talked about this after the last event and even in the pre-show going into the last event, they're kind of in every match, right? So again, I think setting a record of 6 straight 1-point overtime losses, and then Paintball Fit kind of breaks that streak by beating them by 2. So again, this is a team that is literally right there in every single match they have played. Going up against the world champions and dropping by 2. It's like we keep talking about like one lucky thing. I mean, they've had 6 unlucky things, right?
Yeah.
It's like they just need to have kind of, and I don't know if maybe it's like a paint man, like who knows, right? When you lose that many games by 1 point, we talked about this. Joey was up in Joey Konopinski and a few others were up. We were scouting, and I'm like, God, what does that do to your mentality, right? Like to be in a position where you're so close in all these matches, and then you drop all of them by 1 point. It's just got to be. It's got to be a little bit crushing, right? And I don't want to say crushing because that's probably not the right word, but maybe like from a mentality perspective, it's really challenging. Chicago Aftershock, or sorry, Los Angeles Ironman. Shane, your group's just underperforming. Again, you've got you guys have all the talent. You guys are coached well. You have a great program. It does seem like every now and again you guys do get some unlucky breaks, but it seems like just that you guys are missing like the 1 or 2 good things to happen early where you guys have that confidence to really finish the match. You guys kind of did it against the Sea Dogs. You guys looked fantastic, looked really, really well, really, really good. But just struggled along the way in some of the other matches. But individually, you guys do have guys that step up and play really well. So I'm hopeful that you guys have come out and have a really good event here. And I do think this is a good layout for you guys. I think it's just chaotic enough that your missiles can have a little fun while your cleanup guys get to shoot a lot of guys out of the middle of the field. So we'll see what happens. The Hurricanes, again, have kind of been, kind of did a little bit what they did, I think last season. They kind of played really well for an event and then struggled for an event. And I'm hopeful they bounce right back out of that and kind of don't fall into the same thing again that happened to them last year, where they really play. And I also think there's a great layout for the Hurricanes. They're another team that shoots really well off the break, incredibly disciplined after. They communicate incredibly well. So I can see this being a really good layout for them. San Antonio X Factor is, again, like just the tale of multiple stories, a team that can play up tempo, but has sort of adopted this incredibly slow style of game, which I could see them and Edmonton Impact potentially having that 1 or 2 point game that we talked about earlier. We'll see. Mike's saying, that their average times were around 2 minutes. That'll be interesting to see if they really play at that time. I hope they do, because I think X Factor is more dangerous up tempo than they are playing that slow game that they're playing now. And they're so talented that statistically, I think if they play more points, they're going to win more points. So just being the kind of numbers guy I am, I wish they would play at a higher tempo, because I think they'd win more. So hopefully that happens. Edmonton Impact, has a little bit of shakeup between the second event and now. Cutting Marcelo Margot still has an incredibly deep roster, right? Like, losing Marcelo is a big loss. Next man up for sure with Edmonton Impact. A team that, kind of like a few of the other groups that we've talked about. I mean, Impact is like one thing happening away from winning a tournament, right? Like, they're just kind of right there. So be interesting to see. Again, I think this is a great layout for Impact as well. So, the teams that can play kind of both styles and flip back and forth really quickly, I think are going to do really well. Impact being one of them, X Factor being one of them. So I think bracket D is going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mike, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I have plenty on this one.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. Energy Elite, if they didn't have bad luck, they wouldn't have any at all. Totally. Sitting in 18th, but are they really an 18th place team?
No.
I think they're in every game. Puncher's Chance team that has some solid assets that can sting you. And that's what they're doing. They're stinging teams, right? They're stinging them. And the thing is, though, they need to, it's not so much about a sting now. They need that knockout punch. They don't have it yet. It's coming, though. I really do feel like, if you pull this team in your bracket, you better scout them. You better understand what you're getting in for, right? Because they're in every match. And I just don't see them staying at 18th. I don't. Shane, I love you, right? I really do. You're one of my dearest friends. Your guys are upsetting me. The Shield needs that.
Me too.
The Shield needs that luster back. Where's the fire? Where's that grit? Momentum seems stalled and never really seems to take on any type of steam, right? This is the event to turn it around, right? No more squirrel, right?
Yeah.
Go out there and, throw it from the top rope, right? And I know I agree with Ryan. I think this is a great layout for you guys. You've got the weapons to this. You've got several guys who have stepped up. You've got some great leaders on that team. You've got some great performers. So go get it, baby. The Canes, the other boys in blue, started the season off well, snatching that Sunday appearance with a clutch finish from Mike Brown. They were really poised to do it again in AC, but then they ran into the Tauntauns, who just wouldn't be denied. They weren't denied until the finals, that event. Look, this roster's talented. Good guns on the break, Ryan, absolutely. Multiple threats. They have a good coaching staff. They have great leaders on that team. If they can mix the tempo up, I think they should do well. If they play risk mitigation, they're going to struggle, and they don't need to do that here, right? So let's see that new face, right? Let's see those gear shifts, and they'll be in this. I agree, Ryan, 100%. San Antonio X Fair, as you know, had the pleasure to work with Alex Martinez and Ryan Brand this weekend, along with the Tauntauns. And I have to say, first of all, again, I'm going to say it again, they're excellent hosts. These guys are hungry. They're getting dialed, great tempo, and they were playing well. X Factor always has to be in the discussion for top teams. And after this weekend, I see no reason to say anything different. I like this team. I'm a fan of this team, and this bracket is hella tough with them in it. So, and of course, what are you going to say about Impact? The surprising slip up in Atlantic City, a little drama, maybe all the catalyst this team needs to sharpen the cutting edge that is Edmonton Impact. Bart, Dave, and the boys are no slouches, and I'm sure they're coming loaded for bear and ready to lay the smackdown on a bracket that just may prove to be one of the more entertaining brackets, in my opinion, to watch. Impact has to be considered a top team headed into this event. I get the feeling they're a bit ornery, and God help those that they take it out on. So there you go.
SK.
Yeah, I think what Mike said there at the end is, I think this is the most even bracket like any of these teams could beat any of these. Like there could be like several 2-2 teams in here, like, or even like one of those weird situations where there's 3-1 teams.
Yep.
Like I think it's very possible. I hope the Hurricanes lose all 4.
Hey, did their jerseys improved at the second event? Did you like their jerseys at the second event?
They did improve, yes.
Okay.
But
get that out of the way.
But I kind of think I have a really good feeling about X Factor, because I think the first event they just were never in sync, whatever. Are they the last team that beat? Who else beat Fit last event?
AC.
Okay, so I mean that says something. I think, I know it's in the prelims, but it doesn't matter. Like I think that says a lot. So I just look forward to some big things there. NRJ Elite, I think it was 7 matches that they lost by 1, not 6.
Well, it was 6 overtime.
6 in overtime.
Oh, okay. So 7 total,
1.
though.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which I was cheering on an 8th. I mean, just misery. That I would quit. Like I literally would quit. Like,
is it because of their jerseys?
No, not at all. It's just the like. How do you have? I don't know how you even come back from that. Yeah. So, like, I'd rather lose 6-0 than that many times in overtime. Yeah. The Ironman, they're just like 1 point away. Like literally, I think the last 2 events, they were like should have won 1 point. They screwed up, and then they're good. I really think that's all it is. They just need one of them to go their way, and they'll be good.
Yep.
Impact. I mean, they just seemed very disconnected the last event, like completely. And like we played them, and I was like, this was way easier than I thought. Like we played them on Saturday afternoon or morning or whatever, and I was just like, I expected more out of them, and there wasn't much there. And I don't know what was going on over there, but they just were not connected. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, we played them on Sunday morning, and I mean we beat them by mercy. And that was not the expectation.
No, yeah.
No, I wouldn't have thought that either.
Yeah. All right. Good job, man. You guys ready to pick them?
Let's pick them.
Hey, I like to say some on this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If that's okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
I mean, no. But mine's more about my team. The bracket's brutal, in my opinion, and everybody can beat anybody on this bracket. But for us, people don't know we lost one of our players. Jerry Caro passed away a few weeks ago, so our team's going through it. And I hope all the teams out there realize that when you're with your team and you're with these players, that it's special, and you should take notice of it and appreciate it. And when you're out at dinner together and you're laughing and stuff, and remember it, because this is it's real. This was rough. It's been a rough month for us. But it's definitely this past weekend we've come together even tighter. We circle the wagons, and we're definitely gonna give everything we have this weekend for Jerry. And that's I just had something it's been really hard on me, because I've known Jerry since he was right out of high school, and I know Michael had a good relationship with him also. But I mean it's so appreciate your teams, guys out there. Appreciate your teammates, and no matter what level, and enjoy it, because that's what sports does. We sacrifice so much from our family, our friends, work, everything, to be together. So enjoy it. And like I've told people, take a lot of pictures, man, because you just never know. So sorry to bring it down, but this is just, Jerry was important to me, and he was family to me.
It's important to talk about it, right?
It is.
Like the more we talk about him, the longer he gets to stick around with us. So, yeah.
100%.
Thank you. He was a good man, and we miss him, and we're going to grind for him. Yeah, of course. We're going to grind for number 4 this weekend, boys. So everyone should root for us. Yeah, because we're good guys. You know, maybe we can
And
get a
not
break
the
this event, huh? Yeah,
And not the Hurricanes.
especially in the 3-man. Yeah,
Those pesky Hurricanes and those
pesky
damn
Hurricanes.
jerseys.
Just ruin everything for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone.
Good
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Let's
talk about
thanks for hearing me out, boys.
Yeah, man. That was thanks for saying all that.
That was beautiful.
That's important. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So the picks. So Shane gets to pick first. Mike will pick second. SK will pick third, and I will pick last. I think that's the order. Let's see. Mike, Ryan, Shane, SK, Ryan, Shane, Mike, SK.
Yep, that's what you sent.
I like it. So we going bracket A first?
You can pick them in any order you want.
I'll go with that. I mean,
for me
it's
to keep track, but you can pick them in any
yeah.
order.
I'll go. I'm going to go fit and uprising.
Okay.
Yeah. B. I'm going to go dynasty and damage. C. I'm going to go legion and diesel. And D. I am going to do X Factor and Ironman.
All right.
And do I do my wild cards?
You want to do wild cards while you're at it?
I'll rip it. I'm going to do Houston Heat and Arsenal.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. And do I get to do my semi-pro too?
Yeah.
I'll take LA Collision. Yeah. Keep it consistent, baby. Keep it. That's why I asked, because I know when you guys would swoop them from me. So come on. They look good this weekend. They really
that sucks.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
Hey,
Mike.
I'm good.
All right. I'm going to go fit and heat in bracket A.
Yep.
I'm going to go dynasty and damage. B.
Okay.
Legion and diesel in C.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dang it. You burned me on this last time. I'm going to go X Factor Impact in D.
Okay.
Semi-pro, I'm going Bear Ridge Paintball.
All right.
And for my
yep.
All right, yeah, for my wild cards, I'm going to go Uprising and Arsenal.
Okay. SK.
For bracket A, fit and uprising.
Okay.
For bracket B, dynasty and damage.
Okay.
For C, legion and tauntauns. And D, impact and X Factor. My wild cards will be diesel and
Wait.
What?
Yes, that's good. Yeah. Because you picked Legion and Tauntauns, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Diesel and heat.
Nice.
Yeah. You didn't go chalk there, SK. Oof.
No.
And who's your semi-pro pick?
I will go with the New Yorkers, the Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking Crew. Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Okay.
Although Distortion looked really good too.
Yes.
So,
All right. I'm going to go fit. Heat. I'm going to go dynasty damage. Legion AC. Impact X.
This is what gets you.
I'll do FSU.
Tauntauns.
Oh.
I'm going to do the Hurricanes.
Nice. Nice. Just
Well, I have to.
I know. I knew it. I love how you're a gam. I love it. Right.
I mean,
Well,
that's
he's
the
got
only
it.
benefit
It's
of
the only
picking
way we
last
can.
is
Yeah.
I get to see that.
I think that
Yeah.
I think the Tauntauns are a great pick by anybody.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take PMOP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take PMOP.
Yeah. Good pick. Good pick.
A good pick. Yeah.
Good picks. Good picks.
Excellent picks by everybody.
All right.
Yeah,
So the scores right now, I'm winning
God.
with 16. SK has 15. Mike has 14, and Shane has 13.
Damn, I suck. This Ironman team needs to show up for one of these things.
Yeah.
Come on, they're killing me
Yeah.
right now. That's the difference.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the difference.
Andrew Ormsby says, the coaches show, how dare you not travel with your entire recording setup? I did travel with my entire recording setup, but I'm on hotel Wi-Fi. So not great. Not great. Sorry.
Yeah.
Come on, Ryan.
Couldn't
You
you
stay at a nicer place.
I don't get to pick that.
Well, at least SK didn't make fun of the Legion's jerseys.
Oh, they're okay.
Our jerseys are simple.
Yeah. They've got the
simple.
Texas colors.
Yeah, they're simple.
Those are also another country's colors.
I know. Yeah, the country of Texas.
In case anybody was wondering, OKC is up 49-36 now. In case you're wondering.
Yeah, but they've been known to blow leads. I've seen that happen.
Indianapolis is certainly a really, really good
Dangerous.
team.
They're dangerous.
Yeah, but in the last game, OKC was the better. I wasn't playing.
I agree.
I shouldn't say we, but OKC was the better fourth quarter team.
Yeah.
So
it's actually been a great finals. It really has. It's been fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got two really young teams that don't really have like and this is what I love about it. They don't have a quintessential superstar. None of them have like the Kevin Durant's and
almost.
You know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah.
They're just kids working really hard.
Yeah, and I believe this is going to be the first championship for either franchise, right? And I believe I heard that. So that's kind of cool. I liked watching the Pacers this year. They've been fast paced.
The Pacers have never
I don't think
won
either
one?
team's won it.
Oh, Seattle won if you want to count that.
No, we don't count.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't count.
And the
That
Pacers
doesn't count.
won before when they were in whatever it was before the NBA.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that.
So it's like the Padres. They never
I
won
wouldn't
one.
count either, but I'm just saying they did. So
Yeah, I don't know if you heard. It's like the Padres.
don't make fun of the Padres. Literally, don't make fun of the.
By the way, I'm going to shift gears real quick for a
It's
moment.
real.
So I am wearing. So I told everybody I'm wearing this Hormesis headband to keep my eyelids open so I can stay awake. This is Yosh Rao Warren from the Aftershock Dynasty exhibition match, and I'm going to give this away to somebody locally here soon. I wanted to go ahead and announce that on the coaches show. So sometime after Cincinnati, I'll probably be out at our local field here in Leeds, Alabama, Prime Paintball, and during an open play day. And if I see some amazing move by some young man or young lady, this is going to them free.
Nice.
So, wanted to throw that out there. So
That's really cool of you.
yeah,
that is very cool.
Yeah, you're pretty nice.
You
I
got
kind of want to keep
Mojo
it
going right now
because it's Yosh's, and I'm like, well, Yosh's cool. I want to keep it.
Did you watch that? It seems clean for 15 balls a second.
Yeah. Yosh was killing it, dude.
Oh, he didn't get shot. Okay, good for
Yosh
him.
never got touched.
Good.
Now, Ryan, on the other hand, I think caught everybody's paint out of that.
He looked like he got annihilated.
he did. He did.
Annihilated.
So,
yeah.
Well, boys, we're really excited to see you in a few days. Hope you guys all travel safe. Yeah.
And don't
Anybody got
forget,
anything
Coach's
good
Clinic.
going on between now and then besides Coach's Clinic? No.
Just travel, babe. Just travel. Yeah. Let's get there and let's get this show on the road. I hope we have good weather and we can have a good event. So and hopefully the ground's better than AC.
This is a super good PSA. So when you're flying to Cincinnati, you land in Kentucky. Just so everyone knows. Yep. It's across the river, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You do?
Okay. Now I can say I've been to Kentucky.
It scared me one time. I flew to a wedding and I was like, oh my God, I got on the wrong plane.
That's funny.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so
It's going to be fun.
David says Malloy and Smoltrov going to have a good time in the Snake. Smoltrov's not playing in the Snake. So
that's not where I would have put him. That's for sure.
Yeah, he won't be having fun in there.
No.
So, but I will say, like, this is the first prep that I've come to with Red Legion, and it is everything that I kind of assumed it would be. Like, it's all these little micro details, and it's been a pretty wonderful learning experience. These guys are, we go to the events, and I'm always like, they're just so, everything is 100% focused on winning. That's it. They don't like there's very little discussion about anything that's not about the layout, about what's happening. They're just so focused. The prep has been exactly the same thing. Like, and they get into these incredibly fine details. Like, I came down, we kind of threw a point away on Sunday morning, and I came down and I was like, golly, it seemed like we had a lot of discipline, and we had just changed concepts, right, to a new thing. And I was like, man, it seems like we had a lot of discipline problems there. And right away they were like, no, it's just it's a different setup. We need to talk through the setup. And so we kind of write it all out on a layout, and we and literally for like 5 minutes just kind of talk about all the if this then that. And it's like, okay, you do this if this occurs, you do this if this occurs, you do this if this occurs. Everybody good? And we go right out, and they do it. And we didn't lose another point doing it. So it's been quite the learning opportunity, and it's been a ton of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well-oiled machine. Someone said that earlier.
They are a machine. They literally are a machine. They just it's very rigid, right? Like we have practice tomorrow for like 3 hours. Like literally that's what they say, we're going to go from this time to this time, and that's what we do. Like when that time hits, we're out, right? We're just done. So we have like 3 concepts we want to get through, and we do this one, and it works the other way too. If we have these 3 concepts and we do this one, and this one, and we get done early, we leave. We're done. They don't just let it all get in the minutia. They're just like, okay, that's it. We're done. We've done what we wanted to do. It's really impressive.
Yeah. Whoever said that, Shane's probably pretty sleepy.
I kind of noticing that. Yeah. But he's got the Yosh Mojo going, so come on.
Nicest guy on Paintball, man.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up so you can go to bed.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's wrap it up. Gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. It's always, these are my favorite shows.
Same.
Yeah. Good stuff, boys.
Shows.
Safe travels, boys. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Yeah. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And we'll see you soon. Safe travels. Hopefully nobody gets stuck in any airports like Mike did last night. I think it's now like I've passed my bad flight mojo to him, and he now has it, because I haven't been stuck all year. I've had great flight, great trips. So,
I hope that continues. I hope that
get stuck. I flew American Airlines to.
That's right.
Yes, I did get stuck earlier in the year with my wife, not for paintball travel, so it was a little bit less impactful because I hadn't been in the sun all day. But yeah, it was good. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. The show is sponsored by BKI. Get the best knowledge in paintball. Also by Max Sportswear. When needed, get Max. Thank you to Major League Paintball and Major League Paintball Plus, Darren Cessna, Tom Cole, Kevin Fillers, and Alex Sorensen. For Mike Bianca, for Kevin Bredthauer, and Shane Pestana, I'm Ryan Gray. As always, be responsible.
Dude.